Good evening, Brown Mamas. Good evening. Good evening. I am so excited for tonight. Now, we've sent out emails, we've made posts in the community, we've been sharing the event, and I am so excited tonight. We have some special guests with us. We have Emily from Literacy Pittsburgh, and we have Keisha, who is also a graduate from Literacy Pittsburgh. I want Emily to introduce herself a little bit, and then I want her to tell us just a little bit about what exactly is Literacy Pittsburgh.
So I'm Emily, and I'm a Literacy Pittsburgh instructor, and I'm newish to the Pittsburgh area. I'm from Oregon, and I am a math teacher at Literacy Pittsburgh. I also got my GED when I was 28, when I had two small kids at home. So I'm a representative of what you can do with an education if if that's what you desire. I thought it brought a lot of freedom and choices to my life that I really appreciate. Literacy Pittsburgh is a nonprofit that provides education in Pittsburgh. The services are free for the people for clients and students that come in. We have hundreds of volunteers that meet with students one-on-one, which I think is what Keisha did. And we do that both with learning English language for people who are non-native English speakers, and also for adults from America who want to get their high school completion or to up their skills for education or for career development. And we also have classes, and that's the side that I represent.
Awesome. And Keisha, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Keisha Young. I am a Literacy Pittsburgh graduate. I got my GED diploma. I want to say it was January of 2020. And now I'm pretty much doing anything that I want. The opportunities have really been endless, but I'm more so interested in data collection and or organizational development. You're mute. You're on mute. I can tell you were saying something really good too.
I said, we're gonna jump right in. I said, I know the moms have some great questions, and they've been asking us some questions and DMing me some of the questions that they have. So I said, we're gonna jump right in and get started with the questions. Okay. So the first question goes for Emily. Emily, Literacy Pittsburgh, who would you say that your programs are mostly suited for in Literacy Pittsburgh?
Really, the program is very, very open. I just recently worked with a woman who was just this far away from getting her college degree, but she couldn't pass the math portion, and so we got that class for her, and she graduated for a bachelor's degree at 65 years old. I have students that are 18. I have students that are 60, 70 years old. There's not any one student we're geared toward. If you have something that you want to do in education, language, reading, writing, math, we are here for you.
Awesome. And if I'm a mom because this is some of our moms, right, in the community, if I'm a mom who I've been out of school for a while and I have children who are, right, they're coming up and they're in high school, how do you make a mother, or how does Literacy Pittsburgh make a mother feel welcome? Because sometimes there's fear.
Oh, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Absolutely. With moms with going back, and we'll make all the excuses, and the excuses will always be our kids, our kids, our kids, our kids. Yeah. So how do you try to help the moms combat those fears that they may have versus saying, hey, let's just get started. Just take the first step.
So there's two sides of there's kind of four sides. There's tutor and instructors, and then there's ABA, and I'm thinking that we're mostly talking about ABA students here, students that are from America, and so you would have a chance of being with a tutor or a class. So the class is filled with people that are just like you. I mean, there's tons of mothers and people that have been in school for a long time. It's a very welcoming environment. We spend a lot of time getting to know you. We'll get you wherever you're at. There's no time frame. It's very, very open. Adult basic education. That's what ABE stands for. So adult basic education is anything that's not high school and not college. It's that space between high school and college.
Okay.
And tutors, you work one-on-one, so they're there for you.
Okay. So the tutoring is one-to-one, or is it group setting? Because I know that is one of the questions that was asked previously from the moms. Is the tutoring one-to-one, or is it group sessions?
Well, there is both, but for the most part, tutoring is one-to-one. And Keisha has had personal experience with that, so she can speak to what that's like.
Yeah. So I met with someone one-on-one. We met anywhere in that area. So I want to say they kind of try to match you with someone in your area or where you may work by. So it's really up to you. In the beginning, they'll ask you just kind of things to get to know you better so they can match you with someone who kind of fits your needs. So I would meet with someone at the library by my house, at Dunkin' Donut. And it was one-on-one every time. It was just me and her. Sometimes I even brought my kids to the library to just run around.
So Keisha, you're taking us right into the next question, which the next question is meant for you, Keisha. How does it work with balancing motherhood and taking and working with Literacy Pittsburgh? Like, how does that balance work if you have tutoring sessions and so has basketball practice, or you got to get dinner on the table? Like, how does that work?
I want to say it's really flexible. So I want to say I had to do, it was, when you first start, it's like a minimum of maybe meeting twice a week for 2 hours each time. So it's like 4 hours a week. But if things come up, you can always say, I can't make it this week. Or like I did, I brought my kids with me a couple of times. And it just worked out really well because everyone, like my kids were really invested. And it takes back to what you said, I had at that time, my oldest son was about 14. So we were all really invested in what I had going on. They wanted to know if I passed, what was I working on, especially for my 14-year-old, because a lot of that he could help with. He's really good at math. So, he's 17 now, but yeah. So everyone was just really helpful and just invested into what I was doing.
And so this is a question for both of you, Emily and Keisha. Are the classes time consuming? Because again, our moms are working on limited time. A lot of them are single parents or they're moms with multiple or many children. So just one of the questions that they do ask is how much time do they have to put in to either taking a class, or how much time does the tutoring take up?
I think it depends on you and your pace. Honestly, I don't think it's really a set amount of time. Like for me, there was times where I may work on it a little bit more outside of working with my tutor. And it depends. It just depends on where you're at. So it really, I would just say I wouldn't think too much about it because it's not like you're being timed on it really. It's really, you're moving at your own pace. So if it takes you 2 years to get through with 4 classes or however long, they're never going to say that's enough, so.
And Emily, for you, are the classes, because when we think of classes, like when we were in school, like you're in 9th grade or you're in 10th grade and then you go to the 11th grade, or you're in college and you have to finish this class within this certain amount of time and then you can move on to the next one. Do the classes with Literacy Pittsburgh work in the same way?
There is some similarity in the sense that we have some levels, but they sort of go on, right? You get in a level, and if it's working for you, then you can just stay in that class and you'll be constantly sort of going forward. Or some people get through a level and they're moving really quickly. Let's say maybe they start in the first level and they move pretty quickly. Then we can bump them up to the next level if they want a little quicker pace.
Okay.
But it is based upon, we do have a interest exam that's completely not graded and it's very low stress, but it kind of gives us an idea of where you're beginning, and then so we can match you at the right place.
And again, these are questions that the moms have, and we ask them because we know that these are things that our moms in our community go through.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happens in my personal life that causes me to say, I need a break, I can't continue right now, how does that work with if I'm signed up for tutoring and I'm supposed to do tutoring once a week for the next, I don't know, 8 weeks? How does that work?
So I mean that happens all the time. I mean, this people you're talking about are our students.
Right.
That's everybody we have in our system, in our school is exactly the same. So I mean, obviously we appreciate if you communicate, but sometimes you can't, and no big deal. There's no repercussions for any of that. We may nudge you a little bit to come and to do your work because sometimes that's good, you know. But if it's not good for you, then we stop, you know. But yeah, it's open ended. It's not a cost thing. There's just it's very low bar for you know what you can come and go. It's if you're ready to get it done, we're here to get it done with you. We're going to be as encouraging and hold you accountable if that's what you need. But if what you need is to take some time off because you know your kid is sick or because something happened, great. I mean, come back when you're ready.
And so, for the moms who are watching, whether it's live or they're watching the replay, what are some of the classes that you have that you offer, as well as what are some of the classes they can be tutored on?
So they're all the same with reading and math, except for we also have a digital literacy component. So you can not do any of that and sort of just walk in. There's some walk-in places at around town where you can, you know, learn some computer skills. But for like the education portion for work and you know college readiness, it's reading and math, and we just fit you where you're at, and then you go. And obviously, when you can meet, you know, we have different times for different classes. So if you need to come in the evening, we have some evening classes or day classes. If you want to go when your kids are at school, those are all available. Not obviously we don't have everything available. For the most part, there are some options we've got there.
And do you offer weekend?
There is one weekend class that is through the family. I can't. I'm not very good at remembering these titles, but there's one that I mean we would talk about it, but I think that's family literacy. Maria just told me. So family literacy has one GD class with Caitlin. They're lovely, great. Caitlin's great instructor. So we could talk about that. But the tutoring is completely open, right? So if you're with a tutor, you're going to make that match, and you're going to talk to the enrollment person. You're going to say, this is what I really need. And they're going to find a tutor that's going to meet you there.
Okay. And now for the math and the reading, are we taking this simultaneously, or is it one or the other, or is there, we can choose?
You could choose. Everything's always you can choose. I mean, there's not any this is meant for you, right? I mean, we're going to then obviously we don't have every time and every whatever covered, but usually people take math and reading together, and I'm not at the same teacher, but you take them at the same time, and then 90% of students usually get done with the reading portion if it's a GD, and then they continue on to math. That's usually the longer jump for most folks. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes people are really mathy and they get that done first. But I think we all know that math tends to be a little bit more intimidating.
Right. Oh,
Yes.
I'll tell somebody in a minute, like, math is not my strong suit.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll be like, hold on. Let me get my phone. Let me get my calculator, because I'm not even about to try to.
Yes.
And now it's what I call new math. Like the new way that they teach is what I call the new math.
Yes. I tell my kids, like, no, I don't know.
And I know the moms, because we talk about it here in the community, I know the moms can agree. Like, even when we're helping our kids with the math now, it's like, wait, what? What did the teacher say? Like,
I know it's hard. It's hard. But if you think about it, I'm just going to say this about new math. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a math nerd, and you know that when you're in my class that I'm a little nerdy. Is that it wasn't working, right? Everyone that I sit down, I go to a party and say I'm a math teacher, and what do you think the first thing I hear is, I hate math. Like I don't like it. It's intimidating. Ugh, I didn't do well. That was whatever. And so, I mean, they're trying to change that up, right? So it feels uncomfortable, but what are you going to do if everyone doesn't like math? You have to try something else, right? So, and it may seem uncomfortable. Hopefully we have a new generation of kids that don't say, I hate math, right? Especially our young ladies, because we need more ladies,
I know it's a boy thing for me. I think the boys love it, but no.
Yeah. I'm like, how many ways can you? 2 + 2 is always 4. It's just
Yes.
one way.
Yes.
But in regards to Literacy Pittsburgh, if I am a mom who perhaps I have maybe I have been in trouble with the law, or maybe I have a felony, are these classes and services still available to me if I fall underneath that umbrella?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I used to work in I used to work in a health careers grant. And so for some careers, when you leave Literacy Pittsburgh, that would be consideration. But Literacy Pittsburgh itself, not an issue.
Okay. And then for moms who may have some developmental challenges, like educationally developmental challenges, how do you assist with that? Or do you make room to help moms who may have any developmental like delays or issues where they may need that extra piece?
So if you have a tutor, right, that tutor is going to just be there adjusting for you. And I think, the more you can talk about it, the more able they're going to be able to meet you where you're at. I think communications is the key there. Not a large portion, but 20, 30, 40% of my students have come out of that, that portion of the K-12 environment, right? And that and I think in some ways, I like the K-12 environment, but it's a big undertaking to meet everyone's needs, and sometimes they don't do that. And I think when you come into this environment, it's much smaller, it's much more individualized. We are just much more attuned to that. I have a degree to teach math. I don't have a degree to teach what you would call special education. I'm not sure if it's called that anymore. I assume it is. But so the more you can tell me about what you need, the better able I'm going to serve you. But I do have people that have dyslexia, and there's a whole bunch of all those people are in my classroom, and they do make progress.
Okay. Because we do have moms like that, and so it would be dyslexia, ADD, or AD, like where they like focus may be an issue. So, Keisha, our graduate, I want you to talk to the moms and tell them about your journey and your experience with Literacy Pittsburgh.
And I was thinking of this when you were speaking before. So I wanted to go back before, I want to say it was about 2008, but it was just not a good time. So I had started in 2008, and, I took a few classes. I didn't do the tutoring. I just did like the regular group classes, which I learned did not work well with me. I needed that one-on-one. So I started back then, and then I kind of just stopped going. And then I decided to go back again in maybe it was 2018, 2019, because it could have took me about a year and a half to get to the end and finally get my diploma, because I was at my pace. I was working at my own pace. I was working. I had children. So I was just like, I'm just going to just do it. This time I'm just not going to stop. So it definitely took like a year or a year and a half for me to finally graduate. But I just was continuously going, meeting with my tutor, who I absolutely love. I just actually had lunch with her like last month. So we still keep in touch. And it was just a really good experience. I felt the support because I'm older now, so I know how to get what I need now. I know how to ask for what I need, and I know how to, speak for myself. Usually it would be if I was going through something, I would kind of just disappear, not say anything, kind of fall off the map. But this time I would say what I had going on, what didn't work for me. And maybe it was my tutor who made me feel comfortable. And Vince from Literacy Pittsburgh, he was like, I think he's like a counselor. He kind of helps with like any questions. If I said I need more material, because they will give you your books to learn from, When you first go in, you'll take a test, they'll see exactly where you're at. And that's how they match the books that they're going to give you to start working off of. So they're not going to put you up in 11th, 12th grade books. If you may need to start lower, maybe like middle school level, and that's okay. You work from where you're at. Because I know my math was definitely a middle school level, probably worse. And and a lot of that, I learned it. I said, because I want to pass. And I think I forgot about some of it already. I just wanted to pass. I just kept learning and kept putting in that information in so that when I did go, I would pass. And it's 4 different sections. It would be reading, math, social studies, and science. So they're separate tests, So when you go in, you're not just taking one big test. You could say, I want to go in and I want to try for my reading this time. I want to try for my social studies. So that's what I did. I did the hardest 2 first because I knew reading and social studies, I would do kind of well because it's just reading. So when I first started, I was doing math and science because they were the hardest for me. I think I probably took the test about 2 or 3 times before I actually passed with both of them. I use GED.com. I think that's everyone use. That's where you'll get your results for your test. You could take your pre-test there, so you can kind of measure yourself. You can kind of say, do I think I'm ready by taking those pre-tests? Because if you pass the pre-test, you're more than likely going to pass the test. So if you keep passing, you're probably ready. So you don't want to think too hard about it. That's something I think I did too. I could have probably went and took the test, but I was too in my own head. Like, no, I'm not ready. No. But I was probably definitely ready. And like I said, anything GED offers resources for anything that was going on, especially around the pandemic, because that's when I was taking the classes. I would get a lot of resources, maybe for any type of assistance that they got wind of, they would email me. And I can go on and on, honestly, because it was just like that was a really good time for me. I had a lot of support, and that's all I can say, really. You're on mute still.
I want to know about Keisha before and Keisha now since Literacy Pittsburgh.
Keisha before, I was a wild teenager to a certain extent. That's like, I've been through a lot of things. I had my son when I was about 15 years old, which is one of the reasons I had decided that I could not finish school. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I kind of just, I dropped out of school. And then I just have more children and it got to the point where it was just like, I'm so tired of making a mess of my life. I'm tired of not being proud of myself, and not having my GED was like one of my biggest regrets, or high school diploma. I've wanted it since I didn't get it. That was something I've always wanted. It just didn't work out that way. And that always had me less confident, not really feeling good about myself, especially now. Like nowadays, everyone's talking about all these good things they're doing. Everybody's getting degrees and things like that. And it's just, you feel left out of those conversations, especially if you don't have a high school diploma, because I don't think I want to go back to college, but at least I could if I wanted to. I can go do anything, honestly. Now that I have that first layer that you need, so Keisha before was kind of wild. Low self-esteem, and not confident in myself because I wasn't challenging myself to do things that I've already had in me. And ever since I got my GED, I apply for jobs that I probably have no business. Like, I don't even have I'm just applying. I'm like, I can do it. Anything that pops up, I'm like, I can do it. And it really, I'm so serious. Like, I don't even care who got what, but I feel like for me, this was such a big deal for me. And I did not, like, it seems like it's not real sometimes because it was something that was on my mind so much of my life. I kept myself down about for so much of my life that I finally have it. It's just kind of like, like, wow, I could have been did that. I didn't really have to go through all that. I could have, just been done it and it would have been fine. But like I said, it's at your own pace and you're ready when you're ready. And if you're not ready, you're probably not going to do it, So it's all about when you're really, truly ready to just do it.
Absolutely. And where do you think, or how has it helped you now in your career, right? Because some of the moms, sometimes when you are living a life and sometimes we tell ourselves certain things, we're
Mm-hmm.
convincing ourselves that the way we're living is okay. It's really
Yep.
what it is,
Yep.
right? Because we have whatever fear block that's keeping us from going back and getting the GED, taking the classes, getting the tutoring, getting the help so that we can have more, right?
Oh yeah.
Um,
So I mean, one of the things is it helps me career wise because it makes me more sociable. When you're feeling down about something, it doesn't matter what it is. You know, you're usually going to hang around people that you feel like are in the same boat as you or kind of you can relate to. So a lot of people that I hung around also didn't have GEDs, also didn't have education either. And that was more comfortable for me because I didn't have to really talk about certain things or feel left out of certain conversations. And now I could just, I just place myself where I belong. I belong in those spaces, and I know that now. So I place myself there. I don't feel like, oh, I shouldn't be over there. And I really just put myself out there because now I know what I can do. Even bigger than getting my GED, but just because that one step made me feel like I can do anything. Honestly, I feel confident in almost everything I do now. Um, because I worked really, really, really hard. I kept failing. I was like Kevin Hart off Night School. I just kept coming in like I failed. But I was just going right back and just taking it again. And it really boosted my confidence so much that I got like, it feels like a long time ago where I was feeling down and out because now I'm just out there.
That's awesome. And I want the moms who are watching, whether you're watching now or you'll watch later, I want you to just even listening to you talk about yourself before,
Mm-hmm.
talking about yourself now,
Mm-hmm.
how you light up talking about yourself now.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, Literacy Pittsburgh, if you realize that, yes, you're helping us with tangible pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're also helping make an impact on someone's like emotional well-being
Yep.
and how they
Yep.
see themselves and how they view themselves in the world.
Yep.
And here in Brown Mamas, that's just as big as getting your GED.
Yep.
Right? That's just as big as preparing yourself to take college courses if that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to believe in yourself and you have children. So we have these kids who are back here watching us,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're setting a tone. And so here in Brown Mamas, we always, always, always are talking about leaving a legacy and setting a precedence
Mm-hmm.
for our community and for our children.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thank you so much for sharing that piece because
Of
that's
course.
even more important for the moms to realize because there can be a mom out there who, and I want you to just talk to that mom. If there's a mom out there who is just struggling and on the fence and just feels like, because sometimes when you don't have your GED, you feel like you can't do it,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't.
Yep. I mean, because it's one of the first biggest accomplishments that we make as young people, young adults. It's like the first thing you're looking forward to is getting that high school diploma. That's the very first of big accomplishment that we're usually going to do. So when you miss out on that, it's just like it really, really, really puts you down and puts you in a really bad space. And when you don't feel good about yourself, you make bad decisions, and that's just the truth. And it will start off with just, oh, I didn't get my GED, and then you'll look back and it's like, now I have a criminal background because I did not have a GED. I could not get a good job. I have kids to take care of, but so I just kept getting myself in trouble, or just in every which way. If you don't feel good about yourself, people pretty much treat you how you treat yourself. You have to feel good about yourself. People see how you treat you. And if you don't treat yourself well, most people won't treat you well, so you have to just really just, reach out for help. Like Pittsburgh My Mamas, like there's support groups, there's things that wasn't there for me when I was younger. These things really, really help. It makes people feel good about themselves and feel like they can do it because maybe they didn't get that at home or at school. Maybe they didn't get that support that they felt like they needed to want to go back. Maybe because it's just so much with it. It's really a lot. And that's why every time Literacy Pittsburgh reaches out to me, like I was so tired, and I always say yes because I feel like I've always wanted to help people, But I feel like this is my way of like helping people and wanting to reach back and help other women, because like I said, a lot of people I hung around did not have a GED either. But these are smart women, women who care about their children, love their children, will do anything for their children, but they just, they can't find a way how that can fit in, because you don't get paid to go to, back to school, but you have to just find a way to fit it in somewhere. We don't do too much unless you're getting paid to do it when you have kids. I can't do anything unless I'm getting paid. So I would just say you can do it. You just get the support that you need first, though. If you need support groups, talk to people, be more transparent. You don't have to hold everything in, because trust me, everyone has been through something, and there's people that have been through way worse than not having their GED. So don't be scared to speak up and be transparent and be a little vulnerable sometimes. Usually that's when we really start to make it somewhere, when you finally just open up, be a little bit vulnerable, be a little bit transparent, and doors will start to open for you, because people understand and people do want to help people. That's something I had to realize. Like, people do not want to see you down. People want to help. So
absolutely. I thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I think it's really so important that moms can hear someone who has been or was where they are, maybe now, and to listen to you tell your journey, just to inspire them. And when you said, because this is very true, when you're a mom and you don't have like the resources, like you don't have your GED, so your options are few. Everything that you do, it got to be paid. But I want to say this to any mom who is listening. You may not get payment for going back to school, but the payment will come on the back end.
Oh, for sure.
If you listen to Keisha, I'm sure her options for where she can work opened up. Her options, like if you're single, I'm just gonna say this because this is all it's all connected, right?
It is.
How you feel about yourself is the type, like you'll start to attract that type of man.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're changing now how you feel about yourself, now you're changing about yourself, the type of man you want to attract. Right? And then what type of job you want, because now you got your GED, you're like, they won't pay me what?
Yes, you got options now. You like, hold up, nope. That's me. Yeah.
Like, no, right? And so now the way you present yourself and the way you carry yourself changes.
Yeah.
So now, yes, your payment is on the back end.
Yes.
So I just want to put that out there, because sometimes it's not always monetary in the beginning. That monetary may come on the back end.
Oh, it's definitely going to come in the back end. It's definitely going to come. And even back to what you said about like the jobs before, I would not even attempt to apply for a position of, that I felt was a higher caliber office job or doing data or any. I would have never even, like, I would see it pop up and I would have scrolled right on past it. Like, no, where's the fast food? Where's this? And I'm not, not down at anyone, but it's like when you got kids to take care of, you need benefits, you need money, you need to be getting raises, and you need everything all these other people are getting, you can have it too. So definitely everything you said.
Absolutely. I thank you so much for making that clear. And so, Emily, I do have a question for you. What is the process like? Because again, things that will throw a mom off is if something is hard to sign up for, hard to register for, hard to come to, right? Because those are all like things that will make us be like, oh, you know what? Wasn't even meant to be. So what's the ease of registration? So once a mom comes onto the site, and we're going to be dropping the link down below in the chat, and we're also going to post it again in the group, and we've sent it out an email. But once a mom comes and registers, what's the pathway before she starts the class or tutoring? How easy is that?
So it is pretty easy. Everything can be online now, so you can do it from home if that's your preference, or you can come in, either one. You get contacted by an enrollment person, and then you fill out paperwork, and then, like we've talked about before, there's a test, and then sometimes it takes some time to match you with either a tutor or an instructor. So if there's a little bit of wait time, that doesn't mean anything. That just means they're trying to find the right fit for you.
Now, I know we're coming out of COVID, but it's still like everyone's still being a little careful. Are there virtual options, or can you talk to us about that if there are any
I
virtual?
did virtual towards COVID, so I'm pretty sure they'll probably, because that's maybe with a tutor, right? I would think the virtual option. I would think that would probably be more one-on-one, but Emily will definitely know better. But I know I did do a virtual with my tutor.
Yeah, so tutoring and classes are now virtual, and then we have in-person options, which we haven't had for a long time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Awesome. And I know that, it's amazing what you find, like the things we learned from COVID, because school was always, of course, in person, right? For the most part. And then now we have virtual, and now you can see the difference. Some people do better virtually than they do in person, right? And so the fact that you all give that option now, I think is really great, because some people shine more in one setting as opposed to the other. So I think that's really great. And go ahead, Emily. I'm sorry.
No, they're fine. Go ahead.
And so I'm in Literacy Pittsburgh. I've went through the classes. I'm complete. Now what happens? Do you just say, okay, great, see you?
No, of course not. So
you have to ask.
I'm good. I'm glad you asked. So we do have people to help you go into careers. We have someone that's exclusively within the trades. So that's a really big thing for us. So getting into trades, and then also college readiness, and, that next transition. There's things that you have to do to get ready to go to college, like your FAFSA, and you need to figure out where you want to go. There's a lot of free training in Pittsburgh. So when you decide what you want to do, there may be a perfect place for you that you may not have known about, and we'll help you find it.
Okay. That's good to know, because sometimes you get to the end and you start to get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, you do better than college, because when we're in college, you get to the end, you graduate, and it's like, okay, that's what they do. Okay, bye.
There's your degree. Goodbye.
They give you the party, aka the graduation, and then it's like, we'll see you. Hope you come back for your master's, right? But
they like to ask you for money, but besides that,
they do keep knocking on your door to get that loan money back. But outside of that, there's no really walking through process to your next phase, right? To make sure the transition has ease. So that's why I wanted to make sure that the moms knew that it's not, okay, you're complete and now we're done with you. It's a transition phase where they help you get to your next level. And so that's what's important for you moms to know, right? You're getting your GD, you're getting the assistance to now go on to the next phase, right?
Yeah, and also, some people don't leave right away, right? And that's okay too. Like sometimes you may need a little bit of time. Like I have people in my classes that are studying for their college entrance exam, so they've gotten their GED, but they're doing a little bit more math because they want to be college ready. So you don't have to leave all right away. There's none of that. There's no end date. We want to make sure that you're feeling comfortable to do whatever is the next step.
That's awesome.
I was definitely getting emails like close to, I wasn't even, I didn't even pass the test yet, but I was like on that last one. And I guess everyone knew that it was going to happen. So I was getting like emails to apply for that next step that they do offer, like that. I want to say it was the college readiness, but I want to say it was something else. It was kind of like new. It was like training for something, but I had already had opportunities kind of waiting on me. So I didn't really do that part. But yes, they definitely were asking that I want to apply for, or did I want to be signed up for that next step. And they kept sending me stuff too. So yeah.
Oh, that's good to know that you help the mothers into their next journey, whatever it may be for you and whatever is right for you, and that we're not rushed through the process, because sometimes that will make you nervous. Like anything new can make someone
aggravating. Yes.
Yeah, and
it's like an aggravating time. So you're like,
it's uncomfortable. So it's good that they're not rushed through the process, and it's good that when the next step or the next phase comes, whatever it may be for you moms, that you will have assistance and you will have help for that next phase. So now I'm a mom. I'm ready to sign up. I'm like, okay, I'm focused. I'm ready. Going to sign up. I've signed up. I've registered. What's my next step?
So you're going to sign up, and then someone's going to contact you, and then they'll make an appointment with you. They'll ask you when's a good day for you, what works for you. Do you want to come in? Do you want to do it online? And then you fill out some paperwork, and then they schedule you for testing, and then you come on in for that. And then sometimes there's a space right away, and sometimes there's not. And so we're always know where you are. All the coordinators are amazing at knowing where you are and what you need, but that doesn't mean there's so especially on the tutoring side, we really want to make that right match, and so we have to kind of make sure that's available for you. Or if you need a reading class, but you can only go in the morning, but the reading class happens to be in the afternoon right now, then there's just some things that may wait. For the most part, we try and get you in as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Now, is the testing option, is that in person or virtual or both?
Both.
Like at the GED center, is it?
Not that. So the GED is also now virtual. Oh. So you can do the GED virtual or in person, but also the test to get in, which is called the TABE test, is also virtual and in person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can't. I mean, the way things are now, I mean, everything is set up so that we can, because there were times where we couldn't see people at all, right? Yeah. And there was that whole long period. So we had to adjust, like everyone did.
And so, moms, I'm going to give it to you straight. In other words, there's no excuse.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm going to give it to you straight. Like, they've knocked down all of the barriers. Evening, daytime, weekend, virtual, in person. If we don't have the class, we'll make sure we'll stay connected with you to get you in the class. No excuses. So you leave the excuses at the door. That's basically what Emily and Keisha are saying. Excuses left at the door. Go ahead.
I do mind if I speak a little bit to that stuff that Keisha was talking about in terms of like that part about being the transition part. I did also get my GED when I was 28, and not that I'm in the same position as everyone else, but there was a couple things that I learned later. One is that my kids are older, and I wanted to say that one of the things I learned really late in my life was that investing in myself is something I do for my kids. Like my kids needed to see me do that. Yeah. And I always thought that I had to do for them and do for them and do for them. And that was all I was doing for my work and for my partner and everybody. And then I wasn't putting myself first. And what I realized later was that my kids really needed that I was not modeling that self-investment that they needed.
And that we're preaching all the time. Yep. And kids will talk about us behind our backs. Like, well, why ain't she doing it? Well, why don't she got her GED? I can hear my sons now. So it's like, you're not even thinking about that part, that they're probably looking at you like, okay, mom, you got your own stuff you need to worry about. And then
Absolutely. And so for a mom who's going through the program, because sometimes they don't have the supplies that they need when they're in school, or that's a barrier sometimes, especially for our community. Do you offer any help, or do you point them to any resources to help them with that?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. We do have a computer lending program. There can be a wait list, but for the most part, students that need a Chromebook, that can be made available to you. There really isn't supplies per se. I mean, if you needed a pencil and paper, we'd be happy to give that to you. But I mean, it's really just about showing up. That's just the main thing. The only thing that you really need to do is show up, and then we're going to work everything out. You're going to say what you need, and we're going to do our best to meet you there, wherever that may be. And then if you go into Literacy Pittsburgh, one of the things we offer is that the pre-test, the GED Readies are $7. But if you're ready to take a GED Ready, then we're going to pay for that. Okay. And then there's a scholarship program to pay for your GED test.
Okay. That's good to know. Because that is an issue. Money, when you don't have the money, especially if you don't have your job opportunities are limited, right? Because I don't have my GED or high school diploma. So money is limited. It's something that they may not feel like is necessary, right? Even which is like going back to school or going back to get your GED. And then
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's necessary, even though it is, moms. So we don't want finances to be a barrier for them,
Mm-hmm.
or what I would say is an excuse for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, we're
around here
always
we keep
like
it real.
Yeah, what you say?
Just wanted to make sure you all knew that we keep it real around here. So I just want to say, like, cut. Look, Emily is cutting the excuses. I'm just, I'm, I'm sorry,
Yep.
moms. So there's no excuse. Like, you need help, we can lend you a computer. We're gonna help you pay to take the GED test. We're gonna help you with doing the assessment. We're gonna help you with doing the pre-assessment for the GED. We're gonna help you. We're not rushing you. If you need to take some time off, you can. Like, no excuses.
And you have the support here. So I think it's also important to tell someone else, like kind of have an accountability partner. And anyone can feel free to message me anytime, and I will be happy to kind of like, root you on and keep you motivated to do it. But I think it's very important to talk to someone about it. Not anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to somebody about it who, that's not going to beat you down about it. Like, or you ain't done with that yet, or how long is this going to take? People don't need that in their life. It's going to take however long it's going to take me. But to talk to somebody who, is just going to ask you about, like, hey, how'd that test go? Or somebody that you could just keep, that you don't got to feel less than or any of that. I think that also helps. I had so many people like that cared that I did not think would care, but I wouldn't have known if I didn't say anything. People don't know, but you don't let it, you got to say something.
Absolutely.
And education is one of the very few things that no one can take it from you. Once you got that GED, that is yours.
Oh, yes. I Frank, man, she's hanging right on that.
It is yours for life.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And so if the moms are interested in working with getting the assistance from Literacy Pittsburgh, how would they reach out to you? What are the next steps that they need to take to get more information on getting into the program?
I just go to the website. I mean, there'll be like a little button that says, "You want to become a student?" Push that button.
Okay. Well, what if they want to talk to you or someone on the team more, if they have more questions? I know we covered a lot here, so I don't know what more you can. Any more questions? I think you're trying to make an excuse, but just in case if they have more questions, how does that work if they have more questions?
I mean, they can, I'm sure there's an email on there. I'm sure there's a phone number on there. You can call that, but that button is going to get you in touch with an enrollment coordinator. And that enrollment coordinator is going to, it's like a wraparound person for those questions. I mean, they're an expert at whatever sort of preliminary questions that you want. I do have a phone number. I can offer it out if you want, but it's all on the website. It is all there.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to put it out there.
Okay, I am actually dropping the link down in the comment section to the website. So for any of the moms who are interested, or if you want more details, more information, you have more questions, please, by all means, click that link. If you know another mom who you're like, oh, this is great for her, your mom, your sister, your cousin, loving is caring, and sharing this link means you care about her. So share this link out with anyone that you know can actually use these services. We want to grow and expand the Brown Mamas.
Yes.
Right? And it starts with being educated moms. Okay? So let's help you take that first step. We're helping you. Literacy Pittsburgh wants to help you take that first step. All you need to do is click that button right there in the comment section. Link it right here. Whether you're watching in the community or if you're watching from the Brown Mama's business page, click that button. If you're like, oh, my friend needs to see this, you can share this live out from our Brown Mama's business page so that anyone you know who you want them to listen to the conversation because you feel like they need this in their life, because there was a lot of uplifting here tonight. Go ahead and share that button out. Emily, do you have any last words or any last items you want to share with the Brown Mamas community that they need to know about Literacy Pittsburgh?
Just that it's a safe space. It's a safe space that wants to help you. But honestly, if I cannot think of a better spokesperson than Keisha, she just really was. That was really.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Keisha, do you have any last words for the Brown Mamas who maybe where you were?
I would just say, let's do it. Y'all got it. Y'all got the support. You're on Pittsburgh Brown Mamas. Y'all, I mean, just do it. You will not regret just doing it. You can do it. And I follow Literacy Pittsburgh also. I'm always congratulating people. I see people graduating every month. I see it all day. Everyone else could do it. You could do it too. So just do it.
Absolutely. And moms, I want to leave you with this last word. The way you push your children is the way you should push yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that was good. See?
Yeah. The way you push your kids is the way you need to push yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it is never too late to go back to school, ever.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you are 25 or 65, it is never too late.
No. And there'll be someone there that has that age or has that experience or has a similar thing going on. There's just we're just very supportive. The students there want to support you.
Absolutely. I thank you both for being here this evening. If anyone has any questions, we have shared the link for Literacy Pittsburgh down in the comment section. Be sure to click that, share it out. If you have any questions, you can DM any of the admins of the Brown Mamas community and they can get you connected with Literacy Pittsburgh. If you have any extra questions, if you want to connect with Keisha, go ahead, message one of the admins for the Brown Mamas community. We would be more than happy to connect you. But more than anything, moms, click the button. Have a good evening. Have a good evening.
See y'all.